Hi everybody, it's Catherine Middlebrooks, founder of BRB Yoga, here in a Starbucks parking lot looking like a crazy person. Here with your day 11 of the 12 days of core strength. This whole thing is teaching me it's more important to show up and be messy than it is to show up perfectly, because that would never happen. We're moms, right? All right, day 11 is here. Sorry about the cars driving by. Today's tip, watch how you stand. All right, it is so common. I see women everywhere. I do it too, to stand. Ooh, there's a tree limb. Like this, or like this, or kind of jutting your hips far, far forward, right? But this one especially, the one hip hiked to the side. I'm gonna let those cars pass by. This is so important, one, because it is, one, not good for your hips, right? You're tending to shove all the weight to one hip, which will tighten one hip, make the other hip weak. Hi, Joy. So you don't want to do that, partially because the hips are connected to the pelvic floor. It's basically one and the same. Like your hips and your pelvic floor are intricately connected. So when you have tightness and imbalance in your hips, that results in tightness and imbalance in your pelvic floor, which then impacts your core. The other reason, if you think about the shape of your core, when you hike one hip, you crunch one side and you flare the other side. I talked a lot about rib breathing. I don't remember what day that was. One of the days was about rib breathing and getting the diaphragm working. When you are like this, you cannot work the diaphragm properly because one side of the diaphragm is constricted and one is flared. So that means you won't be able to get a full diaphragmatic breath. And if you remember from that video, if you can't get a full diaphragmatic breath, you also cannot get full core engagement because the core is designed to contract when the diaphragm lifts up. If the diaphragm is prevented from working fully, the core is prevented from working fully. So how should you stand? Well, obviously you want to share your weight between your 2 feet, but you also want to make sure that the weight is balanced through the feet and that you tend to get those hips back over your heels, right? So for a lot of us, let me back up even further. Let me angle this down so you can see it a little bit better. Oh my goodness, there were like no cars here and now there are a million, right? So for a lot of us, we tend to stand forward. I want you to shift those hips back over the heels, balance the weight through the foot, hips over heels, feet straight forward, and none of the weight dropped left or right. All right. Guys, that's day 11. We have 1 day left of the 12 days of core strength. Tomorrow, I will be here with you with your last tip. And then on Friday, I will be announcing and emailing the winner of the giveaway. So stay tuned for day 12. See you all tomorrow. Let me know if you have questions.